boxing truth here. I had to talk a little bit about Amir Khan as he continues to do what he does best, and that's simply run his mouth. He's one of the most delusional fighters in boxing. And it's amazing. I'm stunned and just completely baffled. Despite doing very little in the past 4 years, cherry picking his fights, not fighting non-punchers, not fighting explosive fighters because his team and he knows that he's got a weak ass chin and he can get chinned and flattened if he fights a big puncher. But it's amazing that despite doing jack shit for the past 4 years, has collected no hardware, has run his mouth more than he fights really, gets a high rating from Ring Magazine and BoxRec and the WC for simply getting knocked out by a bigger fighter, getting praise from his fanboys because he moved up in weight to fight a bigger fighter. Man, he moved up for a payday. He moved up to avoid Kell Brook, to save face because he didn't want to fight his rival. He'd rather get knocked out by Canelo than to get knocked out by Kell Brook. That's what it is. He could have made the same type of money, the money he banked out with Canelo. So it's not like money was the issue. It's just that he'd rather get chinned by Canelo than he would have by his rival Kell Brook, who he continues to talk shit on, saying that he's taking punishment, fighting the best fighters in the world, while he's taking on softies. But has Amir Khan been fighting the best fighters in the world? He fought Canelo and got knocked out. What else has he done prior to that? What's he done the past 4 years? Take out the Canelo fight, what did he do? Who he beat? Algieri? Alexander? Collazo? Those are not best fighters in the world. Those are cherry-picked fights. Fighting guys that are not explosive, that are not big punchers. Guys that he could outbox. Guys that he even struggled with. And Algieri, whose one win at welterweight is Eric Bone. So has he really been fighting the best fighters in the world? No, he hasn't been. He fought Canelo. Pretty much lost the majority of the fight. I only gave him one round. I recently watched that fight not too long ago, and I gave Canelo 5 rounds. Canelo wasn't just a bigger fighter. He was a better fighter. He was out jabbing him, was out countering him, and Khan was getting praise for pretty much doing nothing. I scored it 4-1 for Canelo going into the 6th round where he got knocked out. But I saw what I saw. The dick riding from the Box Nation commentators just couldn't fool me, because Khan wasn't doing much in that ring that night. So now, despite doing jack shit for the past 4 years, getting knocked out by a bigger fighter, getting praised for it, where it was simply one of the biggest paydays he could have got out there. Also, to save face from avoiding his rival, who he still doesn't want to fight because he knows what will happen. Amir Khan's become the laughingstock of boxing. I mean, he's been the laughingstock. Talks shit, doesn't fight that much, wants a big fight to fall in his lap, gets it and gets the worst possible outcome to happen to him, and the ride is over. His fanboys have realized even that he was a hype job all along, that he's not a top fighter, that he has to be matched very carefully in order to get the successful results that his team desires. He can't just go in there and fight any type of puncher or an explosive fighter, or he's going to get that same exact fate that he got from Canelo in the 6th round this past May. I mean, look at that resume. Who's he beating? He's saying he's beating the best. Who's he beat in the past 4 years? What's Amir Khan's best win? Marcos Maidana? You really going to throw that at me? A Maidana who didn't even win a world title at that time, was not an elite fighter. Maidana's he's a big puncher. He's got good power. But is he elite? Is he a top fighter? I don't think so. He's a C-level fighter to me. Why? Because he lost every second of every round to Devin Alexander, who made easy work of him. And now he's talking about He's talking about he's gunning for Danny Garcia for a rematch, as he is the number one ranked contender for the WBC, and Danny Garcia has mandatory obligations since he won the vacant strap for the WBC back in January. He's supposed to make 2 immediate mandatory defenses. So if Amir Khan wants, the fight is there for him. All he has to do is enforce the mandatory. And Danny Garcia won't be able to talk about fighting Andre Berto or Adrian Broner. He'll have to fight Amir Khan in the rematch. But it depends if Amir Khan and his team want him to get knocked out again, because that's exactly what's going to happen in a rematch. Amir Khan is done, y'all. It's over. The ride is over. The only thing relevant about his career is the money he's made. That's it. He's made good money in his career. He's won a silver medal in the amateurs, simply because he benefited from a very flawed system, Olympic-style system, where it pretty much brought the best of Amir Khan. Shorter rounds, only 3-4 rounds, headgear, and also just landing the white portion of the glove on his opponents. You can see why Amir Khan was successful in that amateur system that has now changed completely, as you're going to see in the 2016 Rio Games. No headgear, Olympic style. I mean, it's more of a pro style, 10-point must system. That type of system, Amir Khan will have no success in. So now, he wants to get knocked out one more time before he retires. If he really wants to fight Danny Garcia again. Danny Garcia makes easy work of him in a rematch. It won't even be much of a fight. Like Danny Garcia said, I mean, it'll be stupid of Amir Khan to go after him. What Amir Khan should be doing is taking some rest, get into better spirits, and also look to fight other names in the division. Stay away from guys like Keith Thurman and Kell Brook and Danny Garcia. And look for fights against a Timothy Bradley and Andre Berto. I know that's a stablemate, so that's probably not possible. Or Adrian Broner. He don't need to be fighting punchers right now. Not yet, anyways. He needs to get a solid win in order to make that fight with Kell Brook even worth watching. Because right now, Eddie Hearn can't even sell that to the British boxing public, because they know what's going to happen. They know Amir Khan's going to get chinned. So they need to see what Amir Khan has left. Can he even beat any solid name at around the welterweight division? He needs to get a good win under his belt for Eddie Hearn to sell that Kell Brook Amir Khan fight to the public. And this is what I predicted. Pretty much everybody predicted. I mean, a lot of people predicted Khan would get knocked the fuck out by Canelo. That was pretty much easy to figure out. I mean, if you knew anything about boxing, you knew that was exactly what was going to happen. But now, Kell Brook is going to start becoming more relevant than Amir Khan. He's going to start getting a lot more recognition, as he's about to unify the division. He's about to have 2 straps under his collection. Something Amir Khan hasn't even collected in the welterweight division. Has never even fought for a title in the welterweight division. And now, Kell Brook, he's still undefeated. Yeah, he hasn't had the best reign, but it's, he's had mandatories to deal with. He's had injuries to deal with. So there's good excuses to why his reign has been lackluster thus far, but I don't see his reign being much lackluster for the near future, and as time goes on, as he's gonna be in some lucrative fights. And what's Amir Khan gonna be doing? He's gonna get knocked the fuck out again, especially if he fights Danny Garcia. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, he's talking about coming back in the autumn. Usually he comes back around December. But if he wants that fight with Danny Garcia, a rematch with him, then he's going to have to make a decision very soon, as Danny Garcia is still waiting on a fight date. He's in training, staying in shape. He could either be fighting Berto, Broner, or perhaps have to fight Amir Khan again, since Amir Khan is the mandatory. But do y'all even think Amir Khan should take that fight? Or should he try to take another fight? A fight that's... I'm not even saying he has to fight a complete no-holder or a cherry pick fight, or just a solid name. And I'm telling you, Amir Khan could still beat some guys that are named fighters, but right now he can't be fighting these explosive guys like a Kell Brook or a Keith Thurman, or even counterpunchers with power like Danny Garcia. He needs to be fighting named fighters, but that are very flawed, like an Adrian Broner, an Andre Berto, if it's even possible, or going for a fight with Timothy Bradley, because those are good fights for Amir Khan. He can't be fighting a Danny Garcia coming from a devastating knockout loss. He's just gonna get knocked out again. I'm telling you, that's what's gonna happen. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Who should Amir Khan fight next? And would you even have any interest in a Kell Brook fight? This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.